What is up, guys? It's me, the AOL Double X Prince, and I am here with your All Elite Wrestling review for Full Gear, which just came out today. I didn't even know it was today. For some reason, I thought it was gonna be tomorrow, but I forgot. AEW has pay-per-views on Saturdays, not Sundays, and I'm not gonna lie, this was a good show for the most part. I thought that they had some great wrestling matches. There was some cool uh, things to happen, but for the most part, I felt like I get the concept that the show is called Full Gear, and sometimes in wrestling, I really recommend uh, to have some filler matches. Just something to rest up the crowd. I mean, all out um earlier this year had it. And I just wanna, for starters, before we get started on anything, I did a review for All Out on my podcast CATANATION Studios. Go check out that on the link down below. It kind of shows you the kind of style that I do for my other podcast, so please stay tuned for that. That is a good one. But anyways, I thought there was a lot of great matches to the point that some had to naturally be like unnoticed or not being as paid attention to because there's just so much stuff that was happening. And yeah, they needed some filler matches in between. Like a lot of the greatest shows of all time had it. Like I said, All Out was a great example of it. The freaking um, what they call it, Mania 17. Not every match was a classic, but there was some matches that kind of like they were what they were supposed to be, and that's what some of the biggest shows need to do. They just need to have some matches in between to like not be a show steal, but just enough to like rest up the crowd. And some matches, and even to the point that some of these feuds were just like so, like it was just like uh I get it, like fine. Anyways, we do start off with a banger with MJF and Darby Allin. Now I knew that this match was going to be good. I did not expect it to be fantastic. It was a great match. I really enjoyed it a lot. And honestly, probably one of the best matches of the night, if not the best match of the night. It's weird because these are literally my two favorite wrestlers in AEW right now. MJF, one of the best heels in modern time. I do get annoyed that sometimes he plays to the point where he is too much of an asshole, like in real life. Like he wants to be in such a character that's kind of like annoying, but it kind of works when he is in the wrestling ring. Um, and then Darby Allen, who all of you know is my favorite wrestler right now. Like I swear, like it's Darby Allen then Roman Reigns to me right now, because Darby Allen is just such a cool, badass looking baby face, and he just has this look. I mean, hell, I dressed up as him for Halloween, so that's saying a lot. Anyways, yeah, I'm going with I'm probably gonna say this is the match tonight. As far as a wrestling standpoint goes, this was the best match. With in the fact that like MJF promises that he was gonna beat Darby Allin in a chokehold, he almost didn't, and it was one of the few times that rest holds actually worked to it the advantage of a match, and I really enjoyed that for it. So yeah, great job for that. Really am digging it. And next up, this was FTR versus the Lucha Brothers, and honestly, this match would have worked so much better if the roles were switched. What do I mean by that? FTR should have walked in as champions, and the Lucha Brothers should have walked in as contenders, and then they finally get their moment. It probably would have been overkill, just considering what the rest of the card looked like. But yeah, I felt like that match would have worked better with that. And I actually do plan on doing a rebooking of the Young Bucks' tag team championship run because I do have a lot to say about that title run for the most part. Anyways, but before I get to that part, let's let's talk about it. This match, yeah, good match. I felt like it was a little too long. Like I felt like following MJF and Darby Allin, it was gonna be impossible to follow up. They did do a good job, but I think it was a little overbooked in the sense that like they had one of the FTR members. He's known as Dash Wilder, I believe, the one with hair, not the bald dude. From FTR. Um, he wore a mask to try to distract the Lucha Bros, but it didn't work because he had hair, so it's like he didn't put on the mask right. So it kind of was misbooked. No fault to the wrestler, but just fault to like how it was like set up. Again, don't hate this match. And I really liked that the Lucha Bros won because I think they have potential of being one of the best AEW tag team champions out there. Right now, they're probably my second favorite behind Omega and Page because that was just such a great tag team. I like the Young Bucks as tag team champions, so I don't want you to think that I hated it. But here's the thing with FTR, and I'm gonna be very honest. I get it that wins and losses matter. I get that like things need to like have a better system, but Jesus fucking Christ. Like FTR lost to Darby Allen and Sting. No disrespect to those guys, but Sting is a lot older. Like I remember that match. I remember I did the review of that match. I said FTR should have gone over and then they should have fought Lucha Bros because then that gave them more credibility going into this match. It's just like they've lost so many times that it's just like okay, it just felt like they were just here because so I said like yeah, if FTR had a victory over Sting, the Hall of Famer, and Darby Allen, the most one of the more over baby faces here, then I would be like, okay, now Lucha Bros are fighting a more credible tag team because they beat like a legend and an upcoming talent in the AEW. So I felt like I know I know deep down AEW writers had Lucha Bros versus FTR locked in for like ever since All Out. It's just that like they should have made him way more credible. Otherwise, they should have just fought a different tactic. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know who believes or has my take on that. Just saying. Miro versus Brian Danielson for the AEW Championship Tournament Finals. Now, I'm pretty positive that Brian Danielson won only for the fact that um they wanted Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega to be more unpredictable. Because now you're like, okay, is he gonna fight Omega again? Is Hangman Page gonna win? I'm pretty sure that is the only reason why he won. There's no other reason I could think of why he would have won. Because honestly, I feel like Miro should have won this one. I really did think that. Now, I hate that Miro has become such a whiny bitch on Twitter, talking shit to everybody. How oh, I'm gonna quit if I'm not the AEW World Champion by the end of this year. It's just like, all right, fuck you. We don't need you. Like that's the only thing I hate about Miro is that he's just such a whiny little bitch on the internet. But honestly, he should have won this match. That's how I personally feel. I get it, or I I I could see them not wanting to do the whole time limit draw ending because they already did that with Omega and Danielson. So it would be stupid for Danielson to have another finish like that, and then it would have been overkill, and people would have started hating it. So I could see that. And but yeah, okay, Brian Danielson won. He's going to fight the AEW World Champion. I'm excited for that. Um, I kind of wish I did like the whole David and Goliath storyline. It was a little weird to see it because I've known them as Daniel Bryan and Rusev for so long. But I still think the match was good. I don't think it's as great as people say it is. I've seen people give it like 4.5 stars. I'm like, no, it wasn't that fucking epic. That's the thing. I think star ratings are just dead. Like even like you've seen my website dxpa.weebly.com. I really don't give a shit about that website anymore. Just cuz like it's just overkill at this point with the cuz the whole star rating is just like I really don't care about star ratings and it's just about enjoying the match. And yeah, I felt like people did over I think people are overrating this match just a little bit. I don't think it's horrible. I just think it's a little overrated. One match that I think is just the right amount of epic was Christian Cage and Jurassic Express versus the Super Click, Adam Cole and the Young Bucks in a False Count Anywhere match. This was just ballistic all over the place. Jurassic Express and Christian Cage went. The right guys went over. I know they had a match before on AEW Rampage with Adam Cole and the Super Click winning. I wish that match didn't happen, and instead on Rampage they did Adam Cole versus Christian Cage, just because this match would have been more memorable. I mean, it still is probably one of the highlight matches of the night. I thought it was pretty, and it did its job. It was uh to the point, had the right amount of time added to it, and yeah, I can't really complain. That's just the right amount of good. And like I said, 20 minutes, not that bad. I mean, at this point, every match was like almost 20 minutes. One match that this is my least favorite match of the night. But it's Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. Um, Listen, I'm with everybody. Cody needs to turn heel. Um, what else does Cody Rhodes have to do as a babyface? And he's not a viable babyface anymore. I mean, how many times does he have to like overcome the odds and try to um beat these guys that he already beat? He already beat Malachi Black. He just hasn't beaten Andrade. If anything, I would have built this up as like the final match between Cody Rhodes and Malachi Black in a no DQ, and then Malachi Black beats him yet again, and then Cody Rhodes has to own up the fact that he can't beat Malachi Black because he's maybe not as good as he is, and that's what turns him heel. That is brilliant booking. I mean, how many times does Cody Rhodes have to try to like upstage everybody when he's just no, it just doesn't work like that. I mean, can you guys tell me who he fought at Double or Nothing? I'll give you uh 20 seconds. Okay, you get the idea. Yeah, you can't name me who he fought at Double or Nothing. Well, his name is Anthony Agogo. Um, Pretty much a fake ass Vanilla Ice looking motherfucker. I've never seen the match, and I don't plan to because it just looks dull. And who the fuck? Where the fuck has Anthony Agogo been since? Exactly. You know why he's irrelevant? Because Cody Rhodes beat him and he is the creative mind. Who it is that? A fucking heel. Hell, Triple H was behind the scenes a lot. And he said, yeah, I have to be a fucking heel. There's no way I'm gonna work as a babyface. Cody Rhodes is just literally like John Cena and Roman Reigns when they try to push him to the top, but it just doesn't work. So if anything, I would have had a Pac get the victory, the pinfall, and then Cody turns on him on Pac, and then we do Pac and Cody throughout the beginning of 2022. That would have been way cooler to do because that proves that Cody is officially just like a smarky fucking prick. Anyways, moving on. Let's just move on. Britt Baker DMD defeated Ty Conti. This match wasn't bad. I think it went a little too long. I like Ty Conti and I like Britt Baker. I personally think it should have been Ruby Soho in this spot. I know they're just saving Britt Baker for Thunder Rosa. Um, um, I think the women's division is a lot better, but it does feel like sometimes Britt Baker is trying to carry it to a credible thing, and that is why she's getting babyface reactions because she's the only woman trying to make it fucking cool. Like there's people like Ruby Soho's, Serena Deeb, Thunder Rosa, that are trying to make the women's division credible. Ty Conti is great. She's basically the AEW version of Liv Morgan. But because she is the AEW version of Liv Morgan, she still is a little stale. She still needs to get work on to make herself viable. So I felt like this match should have worked for TV, and then Dr. Britt Baker should have fought a more credible opponent. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's just how I feel. That's another thing. I think pay-per-view matches should be like pay-per-view quality matches, or at least, like I said, I've suggested filler matches. Not every match has to be 20 minutes. Almost every fucking match here went longer than 15 minutes, except for the match I'm about to talk about next. This match was 11 minutes long, the shortest match on the entire card. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston had the shortest match in Full Gear of fucking pay per view. That is unbelievable. I cannot believe that this was the shortest match on the card. And this was the one with the best story going into it because I mean, the original plan was Punk and Moxley, but of course, Moxley went to rehab, get wells. Moxley, I know that is a serious thing to really think about. So, you know, props to you, um, Moxley. If you're listening, probably not, but like that is like some serious thing to like really think about. So I really appreciate that Moxley is thinking about it because he has a family now. It's just like no, like he's trying to get himself better, and I will always appreciate him for that. Anyways, CM Punk fought Eddie Kingston. The story was great about how Punk talks about how he's talking down to Eddie Kingston. He's just trying to be like, no, hell no, you screwed me over. People like you backstage politicking and stuff. And what's funny was that, in, and this is shows that AEW still has them WWE aspects in the sense that they have the wrong babyface and the wrong heel because people were booing Punk and cheering Eddie Kingston in this match, and they knew, like so much so that they switched roles. Now, are we ready for a heel CM Punk? Maybe, but we'll probably work our way to it. I don't know where CM Punk can go. Like, mm, should he turn heel? Because naturally, the next thing he could do is fight the AEW World Champion, and we'll get to that in a second. This next match, I hated this match. I'm sorry, this is probably just me saying this, but the Inner Circle versus Men of the Year, Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, and American Top Team, which is Junior Dos Santos, Adrie Arrovalsco, and Dan Lambert. Um, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, of course, and then the Inner Circle, who have been well established ever since Dynamite opened its had its first episode, which was of course Jericho, Hager, Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz. No one's talking about the match, even though it was like 20 fucking minutes. I didn't care about this match. I didn't like it. And part of the reason why I didn't like it is because we just saw a multi-man crazy street fight false count anywhere match. If anything, there should have just been Chris Jericho versus Scorpio Sky or Ethan Page. Or hell, it could have been Les Sex Gods versus Men of the Year. Um, that would have been a cool match to do. I know they did Hager and Jericho or Jericho and Ortiz. They've done this match so many times. I just can't keep up. And it's just so stupid because Chris Jericho, the Inner Circle, is a well-established team, and I'm sorry, American Top Team, they look generic as fuck. Ethan Page, I never liked Ethan Page. That is just me. The only person I like out of this group is Scorpio Sky. And whatever happened to Max Caster? They just cancel him. Like they have him with a contract, but they treat him like shit after what he said. Yeah, this is one of those Tony Khan things that is just like, uh, dude, just like stop being so smarky and really think about like, yo, you got to make some stars or get him the f out. And if you don't like him, really get him the f out. I mean, hell, Jimmy Havoc had to quit because Tony Khan didn't have the balls to fire him, even though he clearly didn't want Jimmy Havoc. Anyways, yeah, the only thing that people are talking about is Jay Lethal debuting, and I like Jay Lethal. I personally wished this was like 2006 Jay Lethal, like 2012, the classic Jay Lethal, the one that we all know and love today. I think he still got it, and it's clear to us that um it's clear to everybody that ROH is dead. ROH is not coming back anytime soon. and we just have to own up to it. And honestly, ROH, it needed to die soon. Like it's just over. And that's the thing. I think some pro wrestling companies are just not meant to be. Impact could be the next ROH in the sense of just like establishing some stars in there. That could be nice. New Japan is kicking ass. If anything, New Japan is better than the product, not their TV per se, but as far as just entertainment and establishing superstars, because they're not trying to compete with WWE and AEW. They're just trying to be themselves and just have fun. And when you can avoid competition, it's more fun for the fans. Um, in this case, not that AEW isn't fun. It's just that like it's just I would prefer to watch something without over thinking about this shit. But yeah, this was lame. I thought this was it's either this or Cody Impact. And keep in mind, I don't think that I'm not saying that these two matches were terribly wrestled. All I'm saying is that these matches were terribly booked. If that makes sense. If that makes more sense. So that's just how I feel. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'd love to know if I'm wrong. But the main event, Hangman Adam Page versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Champion. Now, this one had the best moment. One of the greatest moments in AEW history, if not, well, maybe not the, because, I mean, how do you top Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson debuting back to back? How do you top that? But this was a phenomenal moment. Hangman Adam Page was a guy that they clearly wanted to make the AEW World Champion in the future. And then they kind of wrote themselves into a place where they had no choice but to be like, no, Adam Page has to be the champion now. Don't wait 7, 10 years. Like, do it now. And I'm excited and I'm very happy that Hangman Adam Page is your AEW World Champion. Now, I don't believe he's going to hold it that long. I believe he's going to lose it pretty soon to MJF, CM Punk, or even back to Kenny Omega. I would not be shocked if that happens to him. Hell, or even Bryan Danielson. If he loses it to Bryan Danielson, it would definitely hurt because Bryan Danielson is clearly a baby face, and you need to. I said you need to keep Punk or Danielson a baby face, preferably Danielson, because those are your two legit top stars outside of the Elite um, and Jericho. Because baby faces sell more merch, and I think Bryan Danielson could be that guy to sell the most merch. CM Punk sold merch as a heel, so I can't really complain about that. Anyways, hell, the Elite themselves, they sell merch and they're the top heels. I mean, they're pretty much DX and the NWO mixed. Anyways, back to Hangman Adam Page. This was a fantastic match. This is a fantastic moment. And the only thing that scares me about Hangman Adam Page is that if he loses, they're gonna pull what they do to every uh ex world champion like Sheamus, Miz, um, Kingston, where they say like, "Oh, we were wrong to make him world champion. Let's put him back down the card and make him the TNT champion." Like I felt like if anything, I felt like Hangman Adam Page should have been the TNT champion and then the world champion. But hey, you know what? We got him as a world champion now, and I love it. We need a baby face like this, someone that was viable, and it was one of those like, dude, it's ride or die with Hangman Page, because this guy is up to some cowboy shit, and I want to see some cowboy shit. Oh my god, this was awesome, and you couldn't believe it. If it was unbelievable, it's like holy crap, this really felt like one of those dreams come true moments. And again, I don't care that maybe at Revolution he might lose it to Punk, he might lose it to MJF, back to Omega. I don't care what happens, but we got the moment, and that's the important part, that we had a moment that we will remember for a good amount of time, and that's what I will really appreciate about this match. So I didn't hate Full Gear. I thought it was a good show, but again, some matches needed to be shortened down by a mile. Some matches needed to not even happen, and then Yeah, that's another thing. I think they need to go to 8 matches or even 7, and don't try to repeat matches in the sense like don't make if you're gonna have a 6 man tag, don't make a 10 man tag. If you're gonna um have a you know a submission match, don't do an ultimate submission match. It's like that's what failed about Hell in a Cell. That's what failed on TLC and like those pay-per-views. So, don't AEW just don't do stupid shit that WWE does. Like, come on. If you want to be different, don't be exactly like just be fun, but also think about like, hey, what the fuck should go and what shouldn't go. And for the love of God, just turn Cody Rhodes heel. Hell, if Cody Rhodes takes the belt off of Hangman Page and you keep him as a babyface, then all hell's broken loose. That Cody Rhodes is just such an egotistical motherfucker. I don't think they'll ever go that far. It would be a good story, I will say that. But yeah. Anyways, Full Gear. I recommend you to check it out. It was a good show to watch. It's just like I said, some stuff needed to happen, some stuff didn't. But yeah, just check it out for yourselves and give AW, props. I don't think they're great, but they're something good to watch at least. So, anyways, that's gonna be it. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and until then, I'm out.